Well, as usual here on CR Sim Racing, I'm about 1 month behind every other sim racing YouTuber, and I've only just got around to trying out RaceRoom's new Mazda MX-5 Cup car. And it's safe to say it's been worth the wait. I've done several races in this car this afternoon. They've all been action-packed, but this is the pick, a 15-minute rookie race around Brands Hatch Indy. We're going to be starting near the front for this one, on the second row. We've qualified third with a time of 52.6, but look how close it is up there. Just 0.2 of a second separating second from sixth. Now, in the race I've just finished in this car at Zandvoort, I was involved in a first lap collision with another driver that, upon studying the replay, was more my fault than his. So I've got to be extra careful here at Brands Hatch to keep it safe on lap one. And it's green, we're underway at Brands Hatch, and look at Volker Hoffman from second on the grid, wasting no time in moving straight over to the left-hand side of the track. He wants that wider entry into Paddock Hill Bend, and I don't blame him. We're also going to take a wider entry, but that's not through choice, it's because we've got Bruno Vernet on the inside of us. And I don't think there's going to be too much I can do about this. Vernet having the inside line into Druid's hairpin, we're just going to have to surrender that position, so we're down to fourth, Vernet up to third. And with Vernet there, it's going to be tricky for us to get back on the racing line before Graham Hill Bend. We do manage it, but not before taking a nudge from behind. That's James Comasana behind us. It was a big enough hit to give us 4 instant points, but thankfully not big enough to spin us off. So we're still on track. We're in fourth position as we approach the end of the first lap on this ultra-fast Brands Hatch Indy circuit. We've got a good run out of clearways there. That's going to give us an extra 10th or 2 over Comasana behind, and it's also going to see us close right in on Vernet in front. Now, I don't particularly want to get sucked into making a move up the inside into T1 here, but we might not have a choice. Vernet was early on the brakes, but there wasn't really room for us to squeeze up the inside. There will be room to squeeze up the inside now, though, into Druid's hairpin, because Vernet was wide there. We should be able to snatch this third position back. Hoffman in front getting it all wrong too. I'm worried he might swing back onto the racing line. Oh, and that's why I was worried. I was right to be. Luckily, I'd already anticipated it, so I was able to lift off the gas and adjust my steering so that we avoided a collision there. Well, while it was fairly clean at the front of the grid, it was anything but at the back. There was a huge accident at the bottom of Paddock Hill Bend. That's the unfortunate Tom Riot getting squeezed out into the barrier. We can see him at the top of the screen there. He bounces back onto the track and takes several other cars with him. One of them was the unfortunate Rafa Fernandez. We can ride on board with him to see just how little he could do to avoid that wreck. That was a big one. Meanwhile, right behind me in Druid's hairpin, we had 3 more drivers spin out. This was Sergio Moritz, Maxime Boucher and Joe Giorgi getting tangled up. And at the very next corner, I had a little tap of my own. That's James Comasana behind, just getting a bit too close. Thankfully, it didn't throw me off, though. And at the start of the next lap, we were able to make a clean pass up the inside of Bruno Vernet to take third position. We're rejoining the live action towards the end of lap 3, and already we're seeing the pole position man Lee Whittle making a break for it. He's opened up a lead of nearly 3 seconds. Meanwhile, we're still struggling to get around Victor Hoffman. We've certainly got a bit more pace than Hoffman, but we just can't find a safe route past at the moment. I had a little look there at a slightly tighter line through clearways, thinking that it might give me a speed advantage down the start and finish straight. It hasn't done. We're still behind Hoffman. We're going to have a look up the inside into Paddock Hill Bend just in case he leaves me some room. He doesn't. We'll do the same again on the approach to Druid's hairpin. Move it to the inside just in case there's a gap to squeeze through. Again, there isn't. We weren't quite close enough anyway. This battling really isn't doing me any favours at the moment. It's letting the leader Lee Whittle make an even bigger getaway. He's now nearly 4 seconds clear in front, but it's also letting the drivers behind close in. Bruno Vernet just 0.4 of a second back. He's bringing Gigi Leguil with him as well. So we really need to find a way around Volker Hoffman sooner rather than later. I'm going to try this tight line through clearways again, and it might work this time because Hoffman's run a lot wider than he did a lap ago. That's surely going to give us the pace to pull alongside him, and it has done. We're side by side crossing the line, and with our extra speed we should have a car length advantage by the time we make it to Paddock Hill Bend. As long as we hold our nerve and hold this tight line, we should be up to second position. I'm going to move straight to the defensive line. I don't want to give Hoffman any opportunity whatsoever to try and tuck it back up the inside of us through this hairpin, and it looks like it's paid off. We are up into second position. Now the big question is, can we do anything about Lee Whittle in front? He is currently 4.1 seconds clear. Yeah, textbook overtake past Volker Hoffmann this one. Really happy with it. We had a little bit of extra pace coming down the start and finish straight. That gave us the advantage on the inside. We got the pass done before we'd made it out of Paddock Hill Bend, and from then on it was all about defending and just closing that gap on the inside to hold on. Well, by the time we reached 1/3 race distance, I managed to take nearly 1 second out of Lee Whittle's lead. As I cross the line, I'm going to get a purple lap for the fastest lap of the race, but it's going to be snatched away within a millisecond because Langwill behind is showing real pace now. He's closed the gap to within 0.7 of a second. It was a 52 flat for me that last lap, but Langwill went 1/10 quicker. He clocked a 51.9. Now, by comparison, the leader Whittle did a 52.6 on that last lap. So both of us have got the pace to catch him here, particularly now that he's closing in on a back marker. Yeah, that back marker is Thomas Gatner, and judging by the way his car is weaving up into Druid's hairpin, it looks like he's driving a very damaged Mazda. Whittle's right on his tail now, but he's a bit hesitant about getting past, and that's going to play into our advantage. You can see us in the background. We are closing in here. Whittle getting a much better line out of Graham Hill Bend. It looks like he's finally going to be able to lap Gantner, but it's cost him a lot of time. 1 second. He's now just 2.5 seconds ahead. However, both me and Langwill have got the same challenge ahead of us. We've got to try and find a way past Gantner too. The pair of us are lapping about half a second, 0.6 of a second quicker than the leader Whittle. So I think we've got a chance to win this race, but it all hangs on whether we can get around the back marker quickly or not. And as we cross the line, Whittle's lead is now down to 1.5 seconds. So we are making serious progress here, but now we're right on the tail of Gantner. Which way do we go? Do we stay out wide? No, we're going to switch to the inside and hopefully make the pass cleanly and without costing us any time. It looks like we've done it. Let's look into the rearview mirror. Has Langwill come through too? Yes, he has. So now the pursuit is on. Lee Whittle still leads this race, but his advantage is down to 1.6 seconds. Yeah, it's always a nervy moment when you have to get around a back marker who's driving with damage, but thankfully we did it cleanly into Druids. We're at the halfway point of the race now, and we're still reeling Lee Whittle in. That gap is down to 1.1 seconds, so we're continuing to close the gap here. However, we're just going to make a slight mistake into Paddock Hill Bend. We missed the apex. It's cost us a bit of exit speed, and it's opened up the gap for Gigi Langwill to make a move up the inside. So all of a sudden, we've lost second position. We're down to third. But you know what? I'm not too disappointed about that at this stage of the race. We know that Langwill is quicker than us. He's got the fastest lap of the race, so it makes complete sense to tuck in behind him for a lap or two, and hopefully it'll help us close that gap to the leader Lee Whittle quicker. As we watch the replay of Langwill tucking it up the inside into second. Well, as we approach 2/3 race distance, the plan appears to be working. Look how close Langwill is to Whittle now. He's just 0.3 of a second behind into Paddock Hill Bend. Now, I know I'm not breathing down Langwill's neck, but I'm certainly within striking distance. And there's a yellow flag out as well. That could throw a spanner in the works. Have we lost a back marker ahead? Yes, we have. It's Malroyan rejoining to the left of us, but thankfully all three of us get by safely. But the battle for this race win is now well and truly on. Look how close the three of us are, separated by just 0.7 of a second. Lee Whittle out in front, Gigi Langwill in second, me in third. And out of the three of us, we know that the driver in front at the moment is the slowest. So I think that Langwill is going to size up a move before too long, and we need to try and go with him if that opportunity arises. And it does indeed look like Langwill is going for the pass. He's got extra pace on the inside. He is going to take the lead of this race into T1. There's a gap on the inside. Can we go too? No, we can't. Well, we made the split-second decision to try and tuck it up the inside, but it did not. It did not pay off. Well, we've seen the lap driver go back past us, but have we lost any actual positions? Yes, we have. There goes James Comasana past. Carl Thompson goes past, and it looks like Craig Deakin will go past too. He's on the outside of us through Druid's hairpin at the moment, but he's certainly up to racing speed. We're not, so we've slipped down to 6th position here. How disappointing. It was a split-second decision to go for that pass, and I think it's just cost us the chance of a race win. Well, this is the incident that brought the three of us so close together. The back marker Malroyan demonstrating just how easy it is to roll one of these Mazdas if you clip the curb. And then at the start of the next lap, Langwheel finally making the move up the inside of Lee Whittle. Look at the gap, I go for it as well, but Whittle slams the door shut, and I got exactly what I deserved. I shouldn't have gone for that move. Whittle did brake really early. Watch the brake lights, they're on already. That's what causes me to change my mind at the last possible moment, and it didn't pay off. Well, the only positive thing I could say about that incident was that we didn't cause Lee Whittle to crash as well. Whittle's still there in second place. Meanwhile, we're down in 6th. However, we're challenging Craig Deakin for 5th now. We've got a much better drive out of clearways. We've pulled alongside, so we should be able to get 1 place back at least. We've got 3 minutes of this race left. Oh, Deakin not going to surrender this position. Lively, there's a little bit of contact as we approach T1. Thankfully, we both managed to hold on to it. Once again, I'm going to go for the defensive line. I don't want to let this position slip now that we've got it back. So we'll hug the curb in Druids Hairpin. And we might just have a sniff still of a podium finish because the 2 drivers ahead are battling closely together and they're within 1.5 seconds now. Let's see what we can do as we push just a little bit too hard coming out of Graham Hill Bend, but the chase is on. Yeah, a little bit of a nervy moment when we made that pass on Deakin. There looked like there was going to be a collision. Thankfully, we both avoided it and I held on to take that 5th place. Well, we're running out of time now, so I am pushing really hard to try and close the gap to James Comasana in 4th and Carl Thompson in 3rd. It's working, we are closing in, and we're going to close right in through Druids Hairpin. Now just 0.4 of a second behind Comasana. We're stronger on the brakes through that section of the track. So if we can stay right behind Comasana, that might be the opportunity for us to get past him on the next lap, on the inside into Druids. We've got to stick with him though first. However, I know that I'm faster than him and I've got the purple lap to prove it. We've put in a 51.9 and we'll close right in again through clearways. We're right on the tail of Comasana now. Can we get a better drive coming out of this final turn? No, we can't. Meanwhile, behind, it looks like we finally dropped Craig Deakin. He's now 1.5 seconds back, so we don't have to worry about what's going on behind us. We can just concentrate on what's going on ahead of us. We have a look up the inside, but I'm a little bit hesitant after what happened before. But this is where we want to make the move, so can we move to the inside? Yes, we can. Can we brake later? Yes, we can. Can we hold the pass? Yes, we can. It was rough, but we've just about done it. We certainly swapped a little bit of paint there. It was more aggressive than I would have liked, and I was more aggressive into Graham Hill Bend than I would have liked, and that's going to allow Comasana to fight right back. Oh, take that! Comasana gives us a nudge. That was probably payback for my move into Druids. I've got no problem with that, but the gloves are off here. This is going to be a proper battle with 1 lap to go. Comasana was a little bit slower through clearways there. As a result, I got a bit too close behind. There was another little tap to that red Mazda. So it's important we don't lose our composure on this last lap. The blood is pumping, we're trading blows, but we need to hold it together here. We don't want to make another mistake that ruins this race. However, we do want to make the pass that'll give us 4th position. But Comasana doesn't want a repeat of what happened a lap ago. He was far more defensive into Druids and gave us no choice but to run it out wide. And we're running out of opportunities here. We're not going to be able to make a pass through Graham Hill Bend. We take a little bit too much of the curb on the inside. That's going to cost us some exit speed, and that might be it. I think we're going to be reliant now on Comasana making a mistake through clearways if we're going to take this position. However, he's on the brakes really early, so there's nowhere for us to go. We'll try and get on the gas as quickly as we can. We're going to try and pick up as much tow as we can, but I don't think it's going to be enough to make the pass before the checkered flag. And 5th place it is. Normally I'd be pleased, but it could have been so much better. Well, was I a bit too aggressive with that pass into Druids Hairpin? I think I just about got far enough alongside him to call that a fair pass, but it was certainly rough. We traded a bit of paint, and at this point Comasana's just a bit too close for me to get back on the racing line as soon as I would have liked. That compromised my line. It compromised my exit even more. That allowed Comasana to pull back alongside. He gets his elbows out too. Take that! Yeah, cracking race this one. To be fair, all 4 races I did were belters, but this was the pick of the bunch. Let's check out the classified results then. There we are, down in 5th, but I really think we should have been competing for the win here. We got the fastest lap of the race of 51.9, but ultimately I paid the price for making a doomed decision to go for a pass on Lee Whittle that wasn't really there. Thankfully I didn't take Whittle with me, that was a relief. Whittle stayed on the track and finished second behind the winner, Langwill. Yeah, fantastic fun, these Mazda MX-5 Cup cars in RaceRoom. If you've become disillusioned with the rookie series in iRacing, I'd thoroughly recommend you try this series out. It is a breath of fresh air. But that's all from me at Brands Hatch. Wherever you're planning on racing this weekend, I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed this one. Cheers for watching.